And I've had this book for a long time. It's been on our bookshelf, and you can see it's thick. Okay, this is really thick. If you were to compare it to, say, a computer mouse, it's almost half the size of a computer mouse. It is, and it has a lot of stuff in it. Okay, let's see this. I've not seen it before. I haven't. Hello. I'm sorry I'm moving this around. I'm not going to read in it today. Right now, I'm not. But let me shrink this down. Let's look at this right here. And you have to ask yourself, why was it? Why was this lost? Why did they have rejected scriptures? Why did they? Um, the Encyclopedia of Lost and Rejected Scriptures, major books of the Pseudepigrapha and Apocrypha in one volume. The Lost Scripture of the Old Testament, the first book of Adam and Eve, the second book of Adam and Eve, the first book of Enoch, the second book of Enoch, the third book of Enoch, Jubilees, Jasher, section 2, the Apocalyptic Writings, the Apocalypse of Abraham, the Apocalypse of Thomas, second Baruch, War Scroll, Sons of Dark versus the Sons of Light. Section 3, the Lost Scripture of the New Testament, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Apocrypha of John, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Judas, and chapter 29. Section 4, the Life and Times of Jesus, Infancy, Gospel of James, Infancy, Gospel of Thomas, Life of Joseph the Carpenter, Letters of Pilate, Life of Saint Issa. Section 5, the Apocrypha, First Estrus, Second Estrus, First Maccabee, Second Maccabee, Third Maccabee, Four Maccabees, Letter Epistle of Jeremiah, the Prayer of Azariah, First Baruch, Prayer of Manasseh, Bel and the Dragon. Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Wisdom of Sirach, Wisdom of Solomon, additions to Esther. I love the book of Esther. Tobit, Judith, Susanna, Psalms 151, 1 Clement, Shepherd of Hermas, and the Diadache. So, actually, my daughter bought this book years ago, and it's been on her shelf. She told me about this, I think it was like last week or so, when I told her I was reading on a PDF of the book of Enoch. Okay, that's what, yeah, so it's really thick. It really is. Let's look. Um, it has like an introduction to it. It's talking about the study of Scripture is a lifelong venture. Many times our search for deeper understanding of the Holy Book leads to questions beyond the Bible itself. As we encounter references to social conditions, cultural practices, and even other writings mentioned within the Scriptures, we are called to investigate and expand our knowledge in order to fully appreciate the context, the knowledge base, and cultural significance of what was being taught. Thus, to fully understand the Bible, we are necessarily drawn to sources outside the Bible, and the sources add to the historical, social, and theological understanding of biblical times. As our view becomes more macrocosmic, we see the panoramic setting and further understand the full truth within the Scripture. So we see that they have looked at the Dead Sea Scrolls. You see that the books and the writings, you all can do this right here. If I do this right here, I wonder if you all can pause it and zoom up on it when you're looking at it. If I hold it still, because I'm not going to read all of it right now. I'm not. But they got historical documents, you all. So this is great. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, all of that, you all, right there. I am going to be reading some of this, and I won't be reading, you all. Let me just say this: I will not be reading for an hour or two on this. I won't. I think only a little bit of a time, because that's a long time. It really is, and it's like that, you all. Yeah. So, oh, did we already see this? So yeah, look at that, the table of contents in Baruch. And you know that there are other sources that they used in writing the Bible, and they chose. Um, Look, when reading through and comparing book to book, it will be noticed that the books in this volume are laid out in a slightly different style when compared to the one before and after. It was hoped that the variety would provide each reader a preferred presentation. So that's what it's going to start off with. The first book of Adam and Eve, the conflict with Satan, is what it's going to start off with, you all, right there. Um, so I do want to read that. Did you want me? We might be able to read that first part right now, the first thing, just to read it, because it won't take too long. Yeah, let me try to turn this light on right here so I can see. I can't turn it on because I didn't turn on my power surge. Let's just read the first thing of Adam and Eve. Let's see that if we can. It shouldn't be too long. So the first book of Adam and Eve is an apocryphal story written in midrash style, detailing the life of Adam and Eve from the time God planted the Garden of Eden to the time that Cain killed his brother Abel. The story is a fanciful embellishment of the Genesis story up to the point of cursing of Cain and the murder of Abel. So yeah, I'm not going to read that right now. So they're just talking about the first book, and then they get into the chapter. Okay, so there are a lot of chapters, you all. A lot of chapters of this, I think, because you can see the Roman numerals on here. It's going up in there, you all. It is. The first book, you can see it just goes on, and there's no way I could read that all at one setting. Well, I could if my life depended on it. I would. I'd read till I literally fell asleep. I would. Well, probably till I was exhausted. My goodness, you all. Can you believe all of this has been taken out of the Bible? That was the very first book. Look at that. And then here's the second book of Adam and Eve. All of these pages is the very first book of Adam and Eve. All of that. It's what we haven't heard of, but we certainly know that we do have a conflict with Satan. I'm sure he goes by other names. So I am going to go, you all. And with that being said, let me flip this around. With that being said, thank you all for looking, because I think that's going to be interesting. Okay, and we won't read it too much in all at once. I do want to say I have been going through the comments section and commenting practically to 90% of the comments for the past probably 4 hours since my first video this morning. And it's really interesting. It really is. So let me put this back. Let me say this again. So with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And we can flip this right back around. Boom. Yeah, you all, we will read some of this tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And please give this video a thumbs up, you all. I'm looking forward to see what it has to say. I really am, because this is the first time I've ever laid a hand on this book. I didn't even know we had it until my daughter told me just last week.